According to the United Nations, about 1 billion people in the world right now, that's about 1 in 7, 1 in 7.5, are chronically undernourished, and another 1 billion are chronically overnourished. And the world population of diabetics, which is overnourishment basically of the wrong things, is bigger than the total population of the United States, more than twice the population of Russia. And the damage we are doing to the biosphere, while not in fact managing to feed ourselves very well, is enormous. We're in the midst of a mass extinction, as ecologists agree, and the greatest single cause of that is, when you boil it down, modern industrial agriculture. We could, this is the point, we could very easily feed everybody in the world to a very high standard, the highest standards of nutrition, the highest standards of gastronomy, and we could do that without cruelty, and we could do that without injustice, and we could do that without wrecking the rest of the world, if only that was what we were actually setting out to do. It's all a question of intent. And I've came up with this expression a few years ago of enlightened agriculture. And the key to enlightened agriculture lies with 4 very big ideas. I think the idea of enlightened agriculture, I will lay claim to the phrase, but the 4 big ideas that feed into it are certainly not mine, but they come from all over the world, as big ideas do. And the first of the very big ideas is agroecology. We have to treat farms as individual farms, as ecosystems, and agriculture as a whole as a positively contributor to the biosphere. And in passing, let me put in a word for the word biosphere. We should drop the word environment. The word environment should be placed on the index expurgatorius, because environment simply means surroundings. And in this modern world, surroundings simply means stage scenery, and stage scenery simply means real estate. When George W. Bush talked about the environment, he talked about places where he could go and shoot bears. That's not what we should be thinking about. The biosphere means the living world, and we must see ourselves as part of the living world, because if we don't, the living world is sunk, and we are sunk with it. And also because our assaults upon the biosphere should be seen not simply as a crime, but as a sin. In other words, as an offence against nature itself. Anyway, agroecology is the first of the 4 key ideas. The second of the 4 key ideas is the idea of food sovereignty, that everybody in the world, or every community certainly, should have control over their own food supply. And of course, the whole idea of the local economy, the kinds of things that Helena was talking about and we've just been hearing about, absolutely crucial to the idea of food sovereignty. The third of the big ideas is, just to underline that, economic democracy, which includes the idea that the economy must be more egalitarian than it is. We have to be heading for a more neoliberalism, which now prevails, is actually creating inequality, which is at the root of unhappiness and is a hugely destructive force in agriculture. We need what I'm calling the tripartite mixed economy combination of government ownership, community ownership, and private ownership, but above all, actually, community ownership. We need respect for local traditional knowledge and practice. At the moment, we're developing technologies at a huge rate, GMOs, robots. Traditional knowledge actually very often tells us all we really need to know. And the new technologies that are designed not to enhance the traditional technologies, which they should, but are designed, in fact, to sweep them aside. If we seek to do what has been recommended, build on local enterprises, which must include local farms, especially organic farms, etc., then we have some hope for the future, but only then.